In this video, we'll learn about some of the advantages and disadvantages of using AI for customer service. And it's important to get started with an understanding of what AI can do for you, but also what are some of the disadvantages of using AI for customer service. Now, one of the biggest advantages is the fact that AI is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't need somebody working all of those hours. You can provide your customers with support and answers outside of your normal business hours. It's also fast. It's going to provide quick answers, which can lead to faster resolution times and improved customer satisfaction. AI is also inexpensive. We can potentially save a large amount of money by reducing our need for human customer service representatives. AI also provides consistency. AI can provide consistent responses to customer inquiries, which can be helpful in ensuring that customers receive the same information no matter who they interact with. And finally, AI provides opportunities to improve human customer service. We can use it to train our staff. We can use it to augment the problem-solving ability of our existing staff. But it also comes with potential problems. And one of those problems is that AI currently has limited capabilities. So an AI solution like ChatGPT may not be able to handle complex or nuanced customer inquiries, and you may require human interventions to solve more complex issues. It also has a lack of personalization. It may not be able to provide the same level of personalized responses like a human can, which can lead to less customer satisfaction. AI also has the potential for errors. ChatGPT or similar AI tools may make mistakes or provide incorrect information, which can lead to confusion or frustration for customers. Now, as we move throughout this course and we start working with our own chatbots, you'll find out ways to train your chatbot to eliminate or at least minimize those types of problems. And then finally, what about the prompts? Prompts are questions that we're going to ask AI. And if you're allowing AI to answer questions for your customers, they may experience some frustration due to a problem they're trying to resolve. They might not craft a prompt exactly the way it should be for AI to properly answer that question. And again, there are ways to minimize this that we will learn about as we work our way through this course. But it's important to keep these potential problems in mind as we start to embrace AI for customer service. So let's take a moment and talk about the best way to get started with AI for customer service. And the way that this course is designed is to allow you to use easy, simple AI tools like ChatGPT or Gemini early on. We're going to use those tools to enhance our human customer service. And we're going to learn how to use those tools to train our existing staff so that they can provide a higher level of service. This is a really simple and easy way to get started with AI and to get a feel for what's possible. But as we move deeper into this course, we'll learn how to unleash the full power of AI, and we'll actually start automating things like message responses or support ticket creation. These are obviously going to be more complex tasks where instead of just augmenting what our humans can do, we're actually allowing AI to start to handle some of those tasks for them. And we're going to focus on the low-hanging fruit, the things that AI can very easily do for us that have low risk. Things like responding to frequently asked questions, or things like creating new tickets based on customer support requests. So as we work through this course, we'll start with the really easy stuff, and then we'll work into slightly more complicated tasks that can provide a higher level of automation. In this video, we'll get started with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the primary tool that we're going to be working with at first during this course. And we're going to use ChatGPT to learn about the basics of AI prompts. Now, we're going to look at a bunch of other tools as well, but we can apply all of the knowledge we learn here in ChatGPT to all of the other tools that we're going to look at. So this is really the best place to start, is with AI chatbots. And we call them chatbots because they allow you to chat with an artificial intelligence tool and ask it questions, just like you were chatting with a person. So before we begin, it's important that we understand the overall nature of ChatGPT. ChatGPT has access to a great deal of information. And what it's doing is it's processing and presenting the information that it has learned. It doesn't have opinions. It doesn't have feelings about the data. It just takes what we ask and gives us the data that we're asking for. And so this can be a massive time saver. As we go through the course, you'll see just how many capabilities AI has to help you with day-to-day tasks that maybe took you hours. Now you can get them done in moments. ChatGPT and all of the other chatbots that we're going to look at are basically chat-based personal assistants. You ask them what you want, and they deliver. But with ChatGPT and all of these other AI tools that we're going to look at, it's still not perfect. You still need to double check the accuracy of the data, and you may need to modify your prompts to get exactly what you're looking for. Now, the current industry leader is ChatGPT, so that's the one we're going to dig into the deepest. But again, understanding ChatGPT will help you to easily use all of the other AI tools that we are going to present here. But before you get started with ChatGPT, it's really important to understand that there are different versions. And so ChatGPT version 3.5 is the free version. And it's pretty fast. It works well most of the time. But you're getting the free version, and you kind of get what you pay for. Sometimes it may be slow. Sometimes it may be unavailable. It can only support so many prompts happening at the same time. And so if there's a large number of people using ChatGPT version 3.5, it may not be very responsive for you. But I found that that's kind of rare. Most of the time, it's going to work just fine. The other important characteristic to know about version 3.5 is that the knowledge cutoff is September of 2021. And so remember, AI is just taking a bunch of information that it knows about and basically regurgitating what it has learned. So if I ask it about something that happened in 2022 or 2023, it's not going to have that knowledge. Like, let's say, for example, I'm looking at purchasing a car, and I ask it about the safety features of the 2023 Toyota Camry. It's not going to have that knowledge. So we have to understand when the knowledge cutoff is. Now, with version 4, this is a paid version of ChatGPT. And version 4 is actually a little bit slower, but that's because it's capable of doing much more, and it's pulling from a much larger data set. It's going to give you better results, more accurate results, and it features cool new beta options like browsing with Bing and support for plugins. It's always available, but you have limitations. Now, right now, there's a certain set of limitations with version 4. However, you have to understand as you watch this course, AI is changing extremely rapidly. So things might change by the time you're watching this content. And it's basically impossible to update this course as frequently as AI changes. So right now, the limitation that comes with ChatGPT version 4 is a limitation of 50 prompts per 3 hours. So you can give it basically 50 questions every 3 hours. If you try to go above and beyond that, it won't let you. But again, that might change by the time you're watching this video. One of the other big benefits of ChatGPT version 4 is that it has more current data. The knowledge cutoff for ChatGPT version 4 is December of 2023. There is also an enterprise version of ChatGPT. So let's take a moment to look at that. So here we are at the landing page for ChatGPT Enterprise, and you can see a URL for this website shown here on your screen. ChatGPT Enterprise is a much more expensive, but a much more powerful ChatGPT solution, specifically designed for businesses. It's going to be faster, and it's going to reduce or eliminate many of the limitations that you have with ChatGPT version 4. So there's no usage caps, there's higher performance, and there's features coming that will eventually make it even more powerful, like using your own company's data with ChatGPT version 4. Now, this is really beyond the scope of what we're trying to learn here in this course. We just want to introduce you to the different tools. But if you're looking at this for your organization, we just want you to understand that ChatGPT Enterprise is an option for those more business critical type of workloads.
Hi, I'm Lila Bullingtown. I'm an executive coach and I'm the creator of AwesomeLeader.com. Rick Creasy and I have partnered to develop content for this course. He's the tech expert. I'm the behavioral skills expert. You could easily dive into this content and learn a lot. I don't have any doubt about that. Yet you will learn more and you'll have more fun and you'll implement your new knowledge faster if you step back and think about, why am I here and what do I want to learn? To make that easy for you, I've created a document for you. Let's take a look at it. It's an editable PDF and it's just 2 pages long. I want you to think about your goals as you start this course. Why are you here? Don't overthink this. Just think about the first things that come to mind. Then, what do you want to learn as soon as possible? What information is going to make it easier for you, something you can use next week? Then, how are you going to use that knowledge specifically? Make it real, make it tangible. Then, how are you going to impact goals for the organization, goals for your team, maybe some of your own personal goals? And then the 5th question, I ask you to think about what you want to do as you introduce AI to your team. Don't assume that they're super excited. Also, don't assume that they're opposed to the idea. What I want and need you to do is to step back and think about, what do I know about how they feel? And what do I need to do to explain my approach and what we're doing before I just say, go take this course or go use this tool? Make it more like a partnership and then think about what your expectations are of them as you get started and as they get started using AI to deliver better customer service, make it easier and faster and more fun for everybody. All right, I'll talk to you again soon. Before you go through the content in this section, I want you to sit back and think about, okay, I need to figure out where the opportunities are for my team to use AI to improve customer service. I have another PDF for you. It's 5 pages long, and before that scares you off, let me walk you through it. Even if you only answer 1 or 2 of these questions, I'd be happy, and I think you would then be happy with yourself. First thing you want to do is, and looking over here to A, you want to understand the current state and your customer. So think about some good experiences you've had as a customer. Think about some bad experiences. You really want to put yourself in the mind of the customer and remember why you're doing what you're doing and how AI, again, can help you. Think about the top pain points and frustrations that your team hears most often. Where's that information coming from? How are you receiving it? And then think about a potential challenge that the team had. Maybe if you had already been using AI, it would have been easier. Think about the resolution rates that you're seeing. And also then think about some current customer trends and pain points. What do you know about your customer? What do you need to know? In the second section here under B, I want you to think about where you currently are with your service. How are you evaluating it? What are the metrics you're using? And then also, how are you demonstrating exceptional customer service? We want to be able to replicate that or make that easier with AI, yet we actually have to know what we're replicating before we get started. And then in section C, identifying some gaps and opportunities. Does your team have the resources it needs to deliver exceptional customer service? What other training and knowledge will they need? And then also, what are they going to do proactively to anticipate some challenges? The bonus question here has to do with emotions. I want you to think about when your team is frustrated or angry, and come on, it's common sense they would be with some of their challenges. We know that AI can't replace human empathy, but what other tools could help you? What do you have available to make it easier for your team to understand their emotional intelligence? Okay, so that's the assessment I want you to complete. At least try and do a few questions before you dive into the lessons in this section.
In this part of the course, we're going to start asking AI to generate content for us that we can send out to our customers. Now, that being said, I don't want to count on the content that is generated by AI to be perfect, because AI makes mistakes, and we can see small variations and little problems in the content that gets generated that could result in major issues with our customers. And as a matter of fact, let's ask AI, should I proofread AI-generated content before I send it to a customer? And let's see what ChatGPT tells us. And they're saying, yes, it's highly recommended. AI has made significant strides, but it might not always be accurate, and it might not also encompass the style and the tone that is consistent with your brand. And so it's very important for us to maintain consistency. And that's one of the things that AI might not do so well for us. Consistency is really important. Customers want to know what to expect from us. And I have a little picture here of French fries, because every time you go to a fast food chain, you know exactly what to expect. If you go and order your favorite hamburger and it's very different than typically what you get, that's a big problem. We want to ensure that our customer service reps are providing a consistent tone, a consistent message, and we want that underlying the message rephrase. And we want that underlying message to be that we care about you. We care about our customers. We value you. And we have to do that repeatedly over and over again. And the impact of not doing that can be very damaging to our brand. What is the impact of just a few bad reviews? We may get hundreds of great reviews, but the few bad reviews will carry more weight. People will see those bad reviews and they'll choose to go with somebody else. So as we circle back to ChatGPT and AI, it's critically important that we don't just count on the exact content that we're getting from ChatGPT or any other AI tool. We want to look at the content that we're getting here as a great starting point. If you're having trouble composing an email, if you're having trouble sending the right message, these AI tools are a great way to get started. They're a great way to get the basics down. But you still need to put your own little personal touch on these things. And so it's a great idea to proofread, look over the content, make sure that there's no mistakes, and make sure that it's consistent with your branding and your messaging. In this lesson, we'll look at a very simple way that we can use AI to start training our customer service staff to show empathy for customers. And we're going to use a very simple ChatGPT prompt here. We're going to ask ChatGPT to provide 8 to 10 simple phrases that can be used to show empathy for customer service interactions. So here we are in ChatGPT, and you can see that there's some other prompts that I've already generated today. I'm going to start a new chat because I want a new chat that doesn't have any of the content from these prior chats. And I'm simply going to ask it to provide me with 8 to 10 simple phrases that could be used to show empathy for customer service interactions. And it's going to generate a nice little list for me. Now, while this is being generated, I want you to understand the reason that I created a new chat. As we move forward through the future lessons in this section, I'm going to continue to use this same chat session with ChatGPT. And the reason I'm going to do that is because it's going to remember I was asking about ways to show empathy. And it's just like talking to a person. So if I came up to you and I asked you to show me some good ways to show empathy, and then I started asking you other questions that could be related to that same topic, you would probably have it in the back of your mind that I'm interested in showing empathy. Well, ChatGPT is going to do that same thing. Any other questions that I ask in this particular chat are going to be somewhat biased by the fact that I earlier asked ChatGPT how to show empathy. So just bear that in mind. It remembers what you've asked earlier in a chat, and it uses that to craft a better response moving forward within that same chat. If I want to start something completely new, I just hit this little button up here for new chat, and then I'll start something new that doesn't have any of the bias of the prior chat session. All right, so anyhow, let's take a quick peek at the results here and see some of the phrases that it came up with. And I think these are pretty good. I completely understand how that might be frustrating for you, or I'm truly sorry you're experiencing this issue. Let's see how we can make things right. Now, if you're somebody who's familiar with customer service, these may seem very basic to you, but if you're training somebody who's brand new to your customer service staff, having a few simple phrases that they can use to show empathy can be a really valuable tool for those newer employees. And as we move forward in this section, I'm actually going to use some of these phrases in customer service interactions that I'm going to simulate using ChatGPT. And the other thing that I'll just mention quickly before we move on to the next lesson is that you should feel free to follow along with me. And even if you don't have ChatGPT version 4, ChatGPT version 3.5 will do many of the exact same things. So if I choose to use the free version of ChatGPT, I can send the same questions to it, and the results might not be exactly the same, but it's going to work very similar for most situations. And as you can see, sometimes it works even faster than ChatGPT version 4. So if you see me demonstrate something in ChatGPT, it's not a bad idea for you to follow along in ChatGPT and try out the same things. In this video, we'll use ChatGPT to help us to address a sensitive issue with a customer. And the particular issue that we're looking to resolve is we have a return policy that states that once shoes have been worn, they cannot be returned. But I've got an upset customer and I need to explain this to them. So how do I do this? Well, the first thing to bear in mind is we've already generated some nice little phrases here that can help us to show empathy. So maybe we start out with one of those phrases like, I appreciate your patience while we work on resolving this. Or, I can understand how frustrating this might be. So we've got some good phrases as a start point. But basically, the way that I'm going to handle this is I'm just going to ask ChatGPT how I should handle it. And I might not do exactly what ChatGPT says, but at a bare minimum, it'll give me a good starting point. So I'm going to submit this prompt that says our return policy states that shoes that have been worn even once cannot be returned. How do I explain this to a customer that's upset? And remember, we're in the same chat that we were using to show empathy earlier. So whatever answer it gives us is going to be an answer that shows empathy. And so it's automatically starting out with that. And here you can see it clearly explains the return policy because of quality and safety standards. And maybe this answer is good enough, maybe it's not, but it's at least a start. It's at least a good starting point for me. Let's take a moment very quickly to compare the results that we got with ChatGPT 3.5 and see what we get with the paid version of ChatGPT, ChatGPT 4. Here it looks like it's giving us more of a checklist of the things that we should do. And so this is giving me a great starting point. It's giving me things to think about before I interact with that customer. And it's kind of setting the tone as to the way we should be communicating with that customer. However, we're still using ChatGPT in a very basic way here. We're kind of treating it like a coach. We're not sure how to handle a situation. We'll go to our AI coach, which is ChatGPT, and we'll ask it for some help. And then we'll take what we want from that conversation with ChatGPT and use it. But we can take this to the next level. And in the next lesson, you'll see how you can use ChatGPT to simulate a customer interaction. In this video, we'll use ChatGPT to simulate an interaction with a customer. And we're going to use this to essentially perform a training exercise. So let's imagine a scenario where customer service is very important. And in this particular scenario, we are going to ask ChatGPT to simulate a customer that is angry because their flight has been canceled. So as you can see here, I've started a new chat in ChatGPT version 4. You can also try this in ChatGPT 3.5 as well. And I'm telling ChatGPT to chat with me as if you're a customer that's angry because their flight was canceled. And now ChatGPT will essentially take on the role of this angry customer. And as you can see by what they've written here, they're upset that their flight was canceled. So now I'll chat with them as if I'm a customer service rep. And so here I'll type my response to their question, and they will respond as if, again, they're the angry customer. And I'm typing a relatively simple response here saying, we can get you on a flight 4 hours later. We're getting you there the same day, so we're not able to provide hotel accommodations, but we are going to provide 5,000 frequent flyer miles for the inconvenience. And so we will go ahead and submit that response to ChatGPT, and we'll see what they come back with. And it's doing a great job of simulating a customer that is upset, and that isn't going to just simply accept a 4-hour later flight and 5,000 frequent flyer miles. So you can see they're accepting, although grudgingly, the 4-hour later flight, and the frequent flyer miles aren't really worth the hassle that they've gone through. Now, they're also asking for a decent seat on this new flight. But if you've ever had a flight canceled, you probably know that the other flights tend to be full because of all the travelers that have to get moved around. So let's send another response to ChatGPT. And here's my response. Because of the flight cancellations, your new flight is nearly booked. And so I'm only able to get you a seat in the main cabin. It's at least an aisle seat. We're offering a premium drink voucher and free Wi-Fi, and then thanking them for their understanding and patience. And we'll go ahead and submit that response and see what ChatGPT comes back with. So, what is the purpose of this whole exercise? Well, number one, it's a great way to get your team comfortable with dealing with these sorts of interactions. It's also a great way as a manager or supervisor that I could go back through this chat transcript and look it over and give them feedback on how they handled this particular situation. So this is a great way for me to think of all sorts of scenarios that my customer service team may have to deal with. Like, for example, what if we have customers who frequently don't want to pay change fees for changes to their flights? Or maybe they want to check a bag for free, but we're not allowed to offer that. Regardless of all of the little different types of situations that you can come up with, you can go ahead and work with ChatGPT to simulate those situations and to make sure that your customer service reps are handling those in the best way possible. In this video, we'll create another simulated customer service interaction, but this time we're going to use Gemini instead of ChatGPT. And the scenario that we're going to go through this time is we have customers that are calling in to make reservations. Could be at a restaurant or a hotel or really any place you might want to make reservations. And we want Gemini to chat with us as if they are a customer making this new reservation. So here we are at Gemini, and I'm going to go ahead and put our prompt in here. And I'm just going to submit this prompt. Now let's take a closer look at the prompt. We require our customer service reps to confirm the time and date of all reservations made. They must end each interaction by thanking the customer. So we've given some rules here. These are the things that our customer service reps should be doing. And in this particular example, I'm going to try to make a few mistakes. I'm not going to do this like the perfect customer service rep. So here I thank them for reaching out, and I ask them what day they're looking for this weekend. And so here you can see we've settled on a day, Saturday, April 13th, and I'm just going to respond, that sounds great, see you then. I haven't given them a time, I haven't thanked them. Let's see what Gemini does in this scenario. And it looks like Gemini got confused. And normally I would edit this out, and I would remove this from the course. But it's important to understand that this happens. This is something that happens with AI. So now Gemini appears to have switched roles, and they're giving us a reservation. And this just goes to show you cannot count on AI being perfect. It's not going to get everything right all the time. That's why it's so important to proofread the results of what you're providing to your customers. And that's also an important reason why you want to be open to trying Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot. It's hard to say which one is going to give the best possible results in each scenario. And so I'm going to switch over to ChatGPT version 4. But just understand, if I tried it again with Gemini, it might work perfectly. But I'm going to give it a shot with ChatGPT version 4 and see if that one works better. So we're using the exact same prompt. They have to thank the customer. They have to confirm the time and date of all reservations made. Let's see if ChatGPT gets confused as well. Okay, so it is asking for a reservation Saturday around 7. So I just asked them to bear with me for a moment. ChatGPT said, of course, take your time. And again, I'm not going to respond to this perfectly the way that I should as a customer service rep. I'm just going to say, yes, we have some times open on Saturday. We'll see you then. And let's see how ChatGPT responds. Is it going to force me to confirm the time and date of that reservation? And also, I did not thank the customer. And you can see ChatGPT is kind of guiding me to ensure that I have the date and time of the reservation correct. So I'm going to do it correctly this time. So now I've given the ideal response from the customer service rep. Let's send that to ChatGPT. And I think that's essentially going to end this interaction. And so although this lesson didn't go exactly according to plan, at least when we were using Gemini, it's a great learning experience. And the takeaways that I want you to have are, number one, this is a great way to train customer service reps. And ChatGPT version 4 did a fantastic job of that. But we have to stay open to the fact that AI might make mistakes and it may hallucinate. And that we want to keep an open mind about using different AI tools to accomplish our goals, because where one tool excels, another tool may not. Your organization may already have tools that support integrated AI. And there are a vast array of customer relationship manager solutions and other types of software out there that you may be using that might already have some AI tools built in. So I'm going to take just a very brief moment and focus on Salesforce and Zendesk and take a look at some of the AI tools there. If you don't use either of these solutions, I would still watch this video just to get an idea of what's possible. And the last thing I'll say before we get into this content is that it's very important to understand the underlying tools that we're going to talk about in this course. So you might be thinking, hey, I use Salesforce. I use Zendesk. Why don't I just learn about the AI tools there? And although that's a valid strategy, I would suggest learning all the fundamentals in this course first and learning about the underlying technology and what's basically happening underneath the surface in those tools. That'll enable you to really maximize what you get out of those AI tools in these software packages like Salesforce and Zendesk. So let's start with Salesforce. And Salesforce integrates AI directly into the flow of your day-to-day work. The primary solution that we're going to talk about here is called Einstein. And there's Einstein Copilot for sales and Einstein Copilot for support. So this enables you to ask simple questions like, for example, what is my biggest deal closing next month? Or you can ask it to take care of things for you. Like on your mobile device, you could say, update a certain contract to the status of 1 and email a contract to the customer. And Einstein will just take care of that stuff for you. Or imagine you're pulling up a customer support case in Salesforce. And you as a customer service rep can ask it pretty much anything. You can ask it to summarize that case. You can ask it to suggest a solution. You can ask it if there are any relevant KB articles. And you could even submit requests. So maybe you want to move this request up the ladder and try to get approval to give this customer 3 months of service for free. Well, you can just ask Salesforce and it'll do that for you. So they've baked AI into their existing tools, and Zendesk is very similar. They have a similar system called Klaus. Now, what I want to focus on here with Klaus is its ability to use AI to analyze customer support conversations. It can analyze and score all of your support conversations automatically. And if you've ever managed a customer service team and you've manually gone through and looked at transcripts from these customer service interactions, it is an extraordinarily time-consuming thing. But Klaus is going to be doing that for you all the time. It's going to be constantly analyzing and scoring all of those support conversations, and you can easily look at all of this in a dashboard to see how well your customer service reps are actually doing. It can also do things like summarize tickets. It can show similar tickets. So it has AI tools that are built in to actually help your customer support team work better. Things like summarizing tickets and finding similar tickets to help your customer support staff resolve problems more quickly. And what if you have a customer that's asking a frequently asked question? Well, these can be automatically responded to by AI. We're going to take a look at an example of this later in this course when we use Chatbase. But Zendesk can leverage AI to automatically answer frequently asked questions with responses that you have the ability to predetermine. And that'll save a significant amount of time for your actual human customer service agents so that they can focus on more complicated issues.
Now we've reached the part of the course where we're going to start doing our hands-on labs. And you may have been following along with me as I walked through some of the hands-on exercises that I was demonstrating. But in addition to that, I've provided a series of written, downloadable hands-on labs you can follow the instructions on to try these things out yourself. Now, I just want to note that in Lab 1, we're going to be using ChatGPT version 4. And some of these exercises require the paid version of ChatGPT. However, if you don't want to pay for ChatGPT, you could always utilize Gemini instead. Gemini is very similar to ChatGPT, except for it's provided by Google. And as you can see here with Gemini, I can simulate this customer interaction very similarly to the way that I can simulate it with ChatGPT version 4. So if you're not quite ready to pay for ChatGPT version 4, try Gemini, as it has many of the same features. And you may even find that Gemini or Copilot, which is Microsoft's offering, give you some things that ChatGPT does not. You may actually prefer some of those other platforms even more than ChatGPT. But regardless, now's a great time, if you haven't already tried these hands-on tasks, to use the lab materials and to give them a try.